Let's be honest, when it comes to building a career, society basically hands you three standard playbooks to follow. Playbook number one is the corporate ladder. It's the safe route. You get a steady paycheck, but the trade-off is your time and freedom. You spend your best years building someone else's dream in exchange for a 2% raise. Playbook number two is the startup lottery. This is the high-risk, high-reward path. You chase a world-changing idea, raise millions in venture capital, and have a 99% chance of ending up with nothing but burnout. And playbook number three is what most people try when they want to escape the first two, being your own boss. You start an agency or a local shop. The problem is you haven't built a business. You've built yourself a new, more demanding job. You don't own an asset. You own a high-stress role that runs your entire life. But what if there's a fourth playbook they don't talk about? A path that isn't about climbing a ladder, playing the lottery, or owning a job. What if it's about building a true asset, a system that works for you 24/7? That path has a name: indie hacking. In this video, we're going to break down exactly what that means and the system these builders use to achieve a life of true autonomy. Before I tell you what indie hacking is, we have to be brutally clear about what it is not, because the internet is full of bad information. First, indie hacking is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is not about crypto or drop shipping or any passive income fantasy. It's about the slow, deliberate craft of building a genuinely useful product. Second, it is not the same as being a freelancer. A freelancer trades their time directly for money. If they don't work, they don't get paid. That is still a job. You've just made yourself the boss. An indie hacker builds assets that work for them, even when they're sleeping. And third, indie hacking is the polar opposite of the venture capital model. It is not about chasing hypergrowth, massive teams, or a billion-dollar exit. An indie hacker would rather have a 100% stake in a business that makes $200,000 a year than a 1% stake in a billion-dollar unicorn. Okay, so what is the actual playbook for the indie hackers you see on Twitter? What are they building? It comes down to a simple three-part system for building software. Step one, they find a small, painful problem, often by scratching their own itch. They don't try to build the next Salesforce. They build a simple browser extension that supercharges Notion for power users, or a lightweight invoicing tool for freelance photographers. They target a niche they understand deeply. Step two, they build and ship a simple software solution fast. This is key. They don't spend a year in a basement building the perfect product. They build a minimum viable product, or MVP, in a matter of weeks and get it into the hands of real users. The goal is to get feedback and that first dollar of monthly recurring revenue, or MRR, as quickly as possible. Building a machine that generates predictable recurring income. Step three, they build a direct audience in public. They don't buy ads. They share their entire journey on Twitter, the design mock-ups, the revenue milestones, the bugs. This transparency builds trust and attracts their first customers. That is the entire model. Find a niche software problem, ship a simple solution, and build your audience by sharing the journey. So, what's the end game of building that MRR machine? It's not the billion-dollar exit you see in movies. The real prize is autonomy. The goal is to build a predictable, recurring revenue stream that buys back your time and your freedom. An indie hacker's success isn't measured by their valuation. It's measured by their control over their own life. Scaling in this world doesn't mean hiring a huge team. It means optimizing the software to serve more customers automatically. It's about increasing your MRR, not your headcount. The legacy you're building isn't a massive corporation. It's a calm, profitable, automated business that funds your ideal life, not one that consumes it. That is the ultimate prize, and it's infinitely more valuable than a lottery ticket exit. So let's put it all together. What is an indie hacker? It's not just a job title, it's a philosophy. They are entrepreneurs who value freedom over growth at all costs. They build automated software systems that generate recurring revenue, not just new jobs for themselves. They solve specific problems with simple, focused products. Their ultimate goal is not a massive exit, but a life of autonomy funded by that MRR. The playbook is proven, the tools are accessible, and the path is clear. It's a direct challenge to the old way of thinking about work and wealth. The only question left is, what software are you going to build? For more deep dives into the strategies of successful indie hackers, make sure you subscribe to Culture of Code.